Hi, I'm Mark Holweger. I'm the CEO and President of Legal & General America. This is the future of insurance, live from ITC.
Mark, thank you for sitting down. Before we jump in, I'd love to understand who you are and your background, and then also who is Legal & General for those who don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background, as you can say, I am actually British. So I came over to the United States about 7 years ago. The company Legal & General, we're an international financial company who do trade across the globe, based in the UK. The United States is our second largest market. And, I came over to the United States 7 years ago, basically to reimagine the way life insurance is sold in the United States.
What does that look like? Because you're, in a sense, a luxury company, a legacy company, but you're trying to innovate the distribution side. So what does that mean for you? And for those who, you have other trading names in the US.
Yes.
I was surprised to learn this. I had no idea that was Legal & General, but for those who aren't familiar, what are those names? But also, what is this kind of innovation that you're bringing in?
So, and I'm glad you said that, because, I said Legal & General, obviously we had this arranged, so you know us, but Banner Life and William Penn.
Yeah, William Penn, I'm sure people would have heard of. Yeah.
So, absolutely, and the time it hit me is I remember when I came over to the US, in the first few weeks, I was down the coffee shop talking to some American friends, and they said, oh, hey, who do you work for? Legal & General. And now in Europe, people would say, oh, Legal & General, we've heard it. Not in America. No, we haven't heard of you. I said, Banner Life and William Penn. And oh yes, my life policy is with Banner Life.
Yeah.
So, and what did we do when we came here and what we were looking to do? So first of all, the US is a huge market.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, it's very disjointed and fragmented. And also, it hasn't changed that much in many, many years.
Yeah.
And why hasn't it changed? Because obviously the United States leads the world when it comes to technology. Most of the exponential companies, tech companies, are American.
Yeah.
So why not the life insurance industry? And I think the reason is people have had it too good. And there's a famous saying: when the sun is shining, people don't like to change.
Yeah.
But you should change when the sun is shining. So basically, the sun was shining on the life industry in that everybody was very comfortable.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly great from a customer point of view. But you know what? Why change? We saw an opportunity to really reimagine using digital technology to change the way people buy life insurance. And that's what we implemented when I came over. And the result to date is we've gone from the 8th largest term life provider in the United States. We're now the 3rd largest term life provider in the United States, just behind Prime America and State Farm.
When you say digital technology, that means direct sold, or is that also intermediated, or what is the channel story there?
So one of the key things when you're looking to grow into a market, who is your customer?
Yeah.
And one thing which we decided very early on is our customers are actually agents, not end customers.
Yeah.
If you looked at the existing business, 98% of it was B2B.
Okay.
And why? Because life insurance still needs to be sold, and it needed somebody to actually tell somebody about the importance of life insurance. You don't wake up and think, I'm going to have life insurance. Yeah. And also to grow a D2C brand in the United States, as I found out very quickly, I've always been proud of Heathrow Airport until I found that the United States has 3 Heathrow airports every 200 miles.
Yeah, basically.
It's the sheer scale of the United States. Therefore, to create a direct brand is very hard.
Yeah.
As I used to tell my group, unless you want to sponsor Super Bowl, and that's not going to be cheap, okay, do you know what? To create a D2C brand, but also, I'm a true believer is carriers should focus on what they do. Be a carrier.
Yeah.
Underwrite, produce great products, pay claims. Leave distribution to do what they do great.
Yeah.
And that is sell and get customers. It's very hard to be good at both. And I can think of very few occasions when carriers have ever been really good at both. So focus on what you're good at.
But when you said digital and that growth, immediately the story I'm hearing in my head is it's a D2C play. They went direct and all, but that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about digital enablement of a traditional distributed product. So what does that look like then? What does that mean? Is it about giving the agents better tools, or what is it?
So what we aim to do is to be the easiest company for an agent to protect their customers. The easiest way for them to protect their customers.
Yeah.
So when we designed initially the digital platform, and it is truly an end-to-end from start to finish digital, we sat down with the agents, our customers, and said, how do you need this to work? What are your pain points? What are the outcomes you're looking to achieve?
Yeah.
So we built it very much in collaboration. And therefore, what it was doing is making sort of us the easiest company for those agents to advise their customers. The other thing we did do, like I say, it was very much about keeping the power and control with the agent. However, we designed it as well. If the agent wanted to give the power and control to the end customer, they can.
Okay.
So the actual end customer can go from start to finish without needing to talk to a customer, to an agent.
Yeah.
So what we did is, it was designed for the agent first, but we did give the flexibility that if the agent wanted to empower the customer, they could actually purchase the life insurance from start to finish.
Yeah. So it's not disintermediating, it's allowing the agent to choose the way that they're intermediating the sale themselves.
Do you know, that's exactly it. Because also, it's a bit like what I said at the start is, everybody should focus on what they're best at. That's what you do in a team. And I see that we are just part of a team working with an agent to protect more families. So why would I want my top sales team part, the agents, having to do paperwork, a load of bureaucracy, a load of administration? What do you want them focused on is talking to customers, telling customers about the importance of life insurance, basically selling life insurance. So that's what our technology allows them to do, is to focus on what they're good at. But saying that, it meant though a huge cultural shift for the agents. Because, and people don't like change either, but it changed the complete way of how they would operate. And that's quite a challenge.
That's the saying, like, everyone wants change, no one wants to change. Which I wish it wasn't true, but it is very true. Being at an event like this, what is the point of it, but sort of what is it that brings you here, that you're looking for, that you're thinking about as you see all these vendors, the conversations? What does that mean to you and what you're trying to achieve?
So one thing we've done as an organization is we have our own IT and our own data scientists and our own machine learning experts. So we build everything pretty much in-house. And in fact, my biggest team now is my technology, data science, machine learning team. 10 years ago, you wouldn't find that in an insurance company. It would have been operations and underwriters. So we do build a lot ourselves because that's our competitive advantage. But why do I come to somewhere like ITC? You've always got to be aware what else is happening in the market. Because as I say to my team, the fact that we've had double-digit growth now for 5-6 years, we've gone to number 3. All we've done is put a target on our back for our competitors. So we cannot stand still. We must be innovating all the time. And there might be times when somebody comes up with a golden nugget and we think, do you know what? We could use that. Now, the only thing I do say, though, is you have to make a real careful decision if you buy something and plug it in or you build yourself. Because if I buy it, my competitors can buy it too. So do I buy it or do I build it even better? So yet again, why am I here? I might see something and I might think, okay, that's a really smart idea, but we think we can take it to another level. Or we might think, do you know what? It's a cable. It's not going to be that much of a difference from my competitor, but we'll buy that one in. We'll put it in our machine.
Not to put you on the spot, but can I ask you about a situation where you might be between those two things? So you think about certain data, like fraud, for example. Any one carrier can have a fraud model that has the best data scientists on it, the best learning and whatever, but it's always going to be limited to the data that carrier sees. If fraudsters are operating smartly enough across carriers, they know not to commit fraud. If they're professionals, they're not going to put in multiple fraudulent claims at the same time with one carrier. So your model could never catch it, but an industry model could. Do you face those sorts of points where it's like, this is a competitive advantage, therefore we should build it, but at the same time, even if we built the best thing out here, it's going to lag behind because of that sort of, you need to have that broad brush data set or view to learn from.
Yeah, I think the thing is, though, the data itself, that's what we do take in.
Yeah. Okay.
To your point, because it's the entire market.
Yeah.
What's the difference where I might be having my own IP is what we do with the data.
Yes. Yeah.
That's where you build the IP. So to your point, yes, the data we absolutely share with our competitors, but it's what you do with it.
Yeah.
That's where the real secret sauce is. What are you doing with that data? And also, how are you using things like machine learning with the data? So what we will be doing is, the data we have access to, our competitors have access to it as well. Yeah. But it's what do they do with that data? And what we will do is use machine learning. For example, we can take unstructured data, and our machine learning will interpret that data and put in a really nice format for our underwriters, or to go to our rules engines. And our rules engines, therefore, drive things like instant decisions. Mm-hmm. The thing I would emphasize, though, is humans are still involved.
Yeah.
So where we are in the industry is we're using machine learning to basically improve processes to make it more efficient for people to use that data.
Yeah.
So even when we have, we are now something like just under 40% instant decision using data and machine learning. However, humans are making the decision for the instant decision in that they've written the rules, which the machine learning and the data therefore compare. So the human is always checking the rules, making sure we can do it, but gives the instant decision. But that's where the secret sauce is how are we building what we do with the data, and we're building it then into our machine learning. That's where it is, but not the data itself.
Yeah. I appreciate the way you're discerning that. And now there's some carrier conversations I want to go back to and be like, well, what if you looked at it this way? Because they're stuck on we can build so much of a better model, and not recognizing it's not the model so much as the data, and then the sort of the way that the model is going to learn as a result of that.
Yes. I'll tell you how I describe it as well when I talk to my team. It's like we built the first electric car.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our Horizon platform.
Yeah.
And then I say, I now want electricity in it. I don't want gas.
Yeah.
This thing is powered on electricity. That is a competitive advantage. You give me electricity. That is where the IP is. It's the juice you put in to the actual physical technology digital platform.
Yeah.
You can sort of copy that.
Yeah.
It's very hard to copy the magic ingredients you're putting in to that machine. And that's where we're focused. And that's where we've built that competitive advantage. It's about that how we're using the data. But yet again, another important thing with the data, transparency. Your customers must know the data you're using, be comfortable, and working closely with the regulator.
Yeah.
Regulator comfortable with the data we're using it and why we're using it. And like I say, and what we're looking to achieve is give great customer outcome, protect more families.
Last question, and I could keep you here all day, so I'm going to force myself. You're legal in general America, but part of a global business. Are the things that you're building here easily exportable, or is there a lift and shift, or is it a global platform, or is this really more of like, look, the geographies are quite different. You can't build something that would be, as successful as you've been in the US, that would have the same sort of outcome in the UK, in France, in Asia, and wherever else. So is this globalizable, the things that you built, or no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I must admit, I take great pleasure in telling my British colleagues, you want to be doing it like this.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very two-way. We get great ideas from our company around the group, but the US team is coming up with some really fantastic sort of ways of how we operate as a business, how we manage our operations using robotics and machine learning and data, and same with the actual sort of quotation and the underwriting. And so, no, absolutely, it is transferable. And we are sharing it across our group. So no, it like I say, and It's something like I say we're really proud of, but we work together as a team across the globe. But it's we all have a little bit of pride when we say this is how we do it in the United States. You might learn something, and they go, well, do you know that's really good.
I worked for British carriers for 10 years. I won't say it always felt that way, so it depends on the company. But it's possible, and I think with some lines of business, they really are hyper local, the way that the product is structured and regulated. But with others, or maybe some of the underlying tools, you can bring those rails elsewhere, even if what's on the surface looks a bit different.
Yeah, and like I think the big thing for me is because we are a regulated business, which is absolutely right. The key for me is working in partnership with the regulator, because we all have the same objective, and that is to make sure we get good customer outcomes, good transparency. And the one thing, I feel passionate, we provide a really great product. It's good for society. It's good for families. It's there when it's really, really needed. And, our role is just making sure people have that informed choice and using sort of technology to make it quicker and simpler, so the agent can have a conversation with a member of the family so they make informed choice. And I tell you how I look at life insurance. Life is like going out to sea. It can be rough at times. Sometimes it's nice, it's sunny. And it can be a big storm. If you were putting your family in a boat to go out at sea, would you have a life jacket? Would you want somebody to at least to have the conversation with you and say, would you like to buy a life jacket? It's not expensive. Term life insurance is not expensive.
No, it's not.
But it's somebody at least having that conversation. For me, that's why I'm pleased with what we do and trying to make it more accessible, make sure it's affordable for families, so at least they can have that informed choice. But you need to empower the sales agent to have time to actually go and see families and actually tell them about the importance.
Brilliant. Well, I appreciate you making some time. I will say, you said, leave the people who are good at sales to sales. You've been selling me a very, very engaging and convincing story, but it's fantastic to see what you've achieved, and I appreciate you sharing with us.
No, well, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mark.